The basic questions on the Gemara, what's the connection between Bar Sisin to our case? The way Rashbam explained, once he said mocher and once he says lokeach. Shkoyach, this is halacha. Sometimes it's locher, sometimes it's lokeach. The question from Bar Sisin, no, doesn't make sense. But you know what really bothers me? From Bar Sisin to our Gemara, who is the question on? More on Rove or on Rav Nachman? Rav Nachman. Lama Rove?
Why Rav Nachman?
Rove, what's the answer of Rove? Here הוא מחזיר מיום הראיה. באמת, for Rove there is no question. There is no basis to the question of Rove בכלל. לא, simple pshat. באמת, according to Rove, what's the question on Rove? Once you give mocher, once you give lokeach.
No, I'm always for the מחזיק.
Here הוא מחזיק והוא מחזיק, זה מובן. And the answer of the Gemara is simple according to Rove. המוציא מחברו, לא בראיה. So באמת, the question is on Rav Nachman. As we see the answer of the Gemara on Rav Nachman, the Gemara more digging into Rav Nachman, right? It seems to be more, what's the word? Stam, pshat in the Gemara. We have a case that Shikune Gavai, and we said that the lokeach, according to Rav Nachman, the lokeach needs to bring raya. According to the Rove, the mocher needs to bring raya. By the case of Bar Sisi, Rove says that the lokeach צריך להביא raya, and according to Rav Nachman, the mocher צריך להביא raya. So according to Rove, there is no question. Here, he's holding it, and the other place, who's holding it? Bar Sisi in the seller. So it makes sense. So the real question is according to Rav Nachman. You can tell by the answer of the Gemara. When the Gemara answered, the Rove is not a kasha. What's the answer of the Gemara? Rove, hu tofes. But Rav Nachman, the Gemara go into the details, the difference. When the Gemara bring the kasha, what's the order of the Gemara, the opinion? First Rav Nachman and then Rove. So the Gemara should say kasha the Rav Nachman and the Rav Nachman, kasha the Rove. The Gemara does exactly the opposite.
How Rav Nachman is a question. That makes sense. Very simple.
No. The kashet. The Gemara asks on Rav Nachman, right?
No, but I'm saying you're saying that the question should only be on Rav Nachman.
More on Rav Nachman than Rove.
Can you explain to me why?
Because on Rove it's pashut yoter. Rove here is holding, here is not holding.
Okay.
Rav Nachman here he says by the lokeach, even though.
Because he's holding.
What?
Because he's holding.
No, Rav Nachman doesn't go by holding. So Rav Nachman, it's more of a question. He doesn't go by holding. He goes by, once he says by the mocher needs to be, the lokeach needs to be raya, even though he's holding. And Bar Sisin says, even though the mocher is holding it, the mocher needs tarich lavi raya. So it's more of a question.
And then explain Rav.
Right.
Why should I go back to Rav?
Yeah, so why?
No,
so,
I'm asking you a question.
You asking my question?
You should go Rav Nachman, Rove,
Kasha the Rav Nachman.
Rav Nachman, Rove. Rav Nachman, Rove. Now,
Rav Nachman, Rove, right.
Now, once we're talking about Rove, let's explain what Rove is and then go back to
No,
Rav.
but the Gemara says Kasha the Rove, and then Kasha the Rav Nachman.
Okay.
So you want to answer
No,
the
the
first-
Gemara starts with Kasha the Rove. No, the Gemara starts with Kasha the Nachman, Kasha the Rove, and Rove. Then it goes back.
No. That's what I thought, but no. Kasha the Rove, Kasha the Rav Nachman. So first Kasha on Rove, then on Rav Nachman.
No, it says the Rav. So the answer's in order.
No, my question is, but the Gemara doesn't ask the question on the order of the Gemara. It should be Kasha the Rav Nachman at the Rav Nachman, and then Kasha the Rove at the Rove. No, but Shaykh Lomar, but usually the flow more makes sense like that.
Once it's on Rove, stay on Rove.
Right. So, that's what you said, the end of the Rove. But usually the Gemara says, Kasha the Gemara goes by the order. The Gemara doesn't go by the last and then by the first one.
Usually, no. The more you
Right, so it seems, based on that the Kasha on Rav Nachman is much stronger Kasha. The Kasha on the Rove, that's the way I'm more stronger question than the Kasha on Rav Nachman. Which, right, because first it says Rove's Kasha and then it says Rav Nachman Kasha. And to me it seems that the Kasha of the Rove is much more easier than the Kasha on Rav Nachman. Because Rove at least has a pattern where Amotzi Mechavoro Alav Raya in both cases. One, Mishenken Rav Nachman has no pattern. Once he says he keeps it, even though the lokeach is holding, he needs to bring raya. By the second case, he says the lokeach But the second case, the one who's holding, he needs to bring raya. The first case, by the case of shikuni gavai,
מוכר needs to bring it.
המוכר which holding it, לא,
The מחזיק needs to bring a raya.
מחזיק needs to bring raya. And by the case, Rav Nachman, and by the case of bar sisin,
The mocher.
the mocher needs to bring raya. So here were both cases. In case one, in our case, the one who's muhzak is bringing the raya. In the case of bar sisin lichura, the mocher which holding it, he needs to bring a raya that is belong to him. And here by us, he needs to bring a. Well, I'm getting confused. Yeah, and by us, the mocher, by us, the lokeach, even though he's holding it, he needs to bring raya that is belong to him. And by bar sisin, even though the mocher is holding it, he needs to bring raya to take it away from the lokeach. מה אתה אומר?
Once there was a kinyan, there was a sale.
אוקיי, נדבר על הפרטים האלה. לא, אתה צודק, יפה. בגישה אתה צודק, we go down, do this. Now, the basic question that we asked on the Rashbam, and we asked it before, I was telling Leo that I wanted to just read the Gemara and explain it without asking questions. The basis for that, last night I was learning, I was in the sugya on my bed, and my wife was in the room, and she sees me learning. Usually I'm learning Qiyus at night. And she sees me learning, and she's like, Ariel, you didn't turn the page over for a while, for too long. And usually she sees me turning pages. So I'm like, no, we're learning Iyun. So she asked me, so what's the difference? When you're learning the other one, you understand or you don't understand? So I said, no, I understand. So if you understand the regular limudim, why this one you don't understand? Meaning, so if you don't understand, so how can you go into other learning faster? I'm like, the Q is a Iyun, go explain it.
You should be giving us shir.
So I offer her, want me to tell you the issues, and no, it's okay. And so, I felt it was easier just to give it, to read the pshat, to see everything fits. But Lira says, we all lady DHD, all of those, and we need to stimulate ourselves before we get in the pshat. So I want to get into the Rashbam as fast as possible, just to highlight the point of the Rashbam. Rashbam says at the beginning, we ask, you bring 2 points that are necessary points. Four things. Ali derech alecha, ברשותך, עברתי, what are the 4 points of the Rashbam? We spoke last time. נכון, הכרתי ראתי, הייתי עובר דרך עליך, משתמש איתך בבית החיצון, שדרת בו ברשותי ולכך לא מחיתי, כן. Now, זיל ברור אכילתך, that was question on this Rashbam, he said, ועדים כדין כל חזקת 3 שנים. What's a חידוש? When he's telling him, זיל ברור אכילתך, that you need to have עדים כדין חזקת כל ג' שנים. The question of the Ramban on the Rashbo, it's a basic question. The fact that I'm going through you, there is a Gemara later on, Machlokes between Rabbi Kiva and Chachamim. If somebody is selling you, if I'm selling you my chater and I leave myself the well of water in the chater, I left myself at derech according to Chachamim to go in and out. The fact that I'm going in and out to my room doesn't keep you to be the owner. With that being said,
You sold me a property, but you left your well on the property?
כן. So according to Rabbi Kiva, mocher בעין יפה mocher. So he didn't leave himself a derech. According to Chachamim, mocher בעין רעה mocher. Meaning, he left himself a pathway to go in and out to his well. He doesn't need to purchase it.
So the well still belongs to you.
Yeah, obviously it will belong to you. The chidush is, you do have an access to an easement, right? You have easement, you have access to the well. So the question of, basically, the simple question of the Ramban on the Rashbam is, Ma Rashbam, since he's going in and out, therefore, he takes away the chazakah. Okay, you're going through my place, no problem, I give you easement, doesn't mean that I'm not the owner. Why when you going through, making me ois owner?
So you said that חירום means that it's not an...
מי חירום? מדבר חירום.
That's מן הרמב"ן.
לא, I'm just bringing the question of the Ramban on the Rashbam. לפי הרשב"ם, the fact that you're going through, that takes away the chazakah. Ramban asks, why? I am the owner, I'm giving you a right to go in and out through my property. How would...
That's a, it's talking about a house, but not talking about a...
The same thing. I mean, I think that's.
You can't sell, meaning you don't sell everything.
If I sell you the inside, if I buy the outside area and I'm giving you access to go to your room, again, by the way, I think don't distract yourself. We're imagining it as if walk into my living room, right? Not necessarily. You can walk into the side, the side of the house, or there is a pathway you're going through and then you're getting in. The fact that you're going in and out is not enough for us. So the question, that will be the question on the Ramban, on the Rashbam, that need to be addressed. Last question on the Rashbam is the question of Tosfot. Tosfot says that the only right this guy can say, Haya li derech alecha, right, only if there is an edim who testified that he lived inside. Nachon? According to Rashbam, you don't need it. So he can claim and says, no, Haya li derech alecha, and it's enough of a claim. And how would the Rashbam resolve the issue as the question of the Tosfot? Tosfot has a legit question. Who are you to say that you are... we're talking about without edim, nachon?
How do we know without edim?
Huh?
Edim.
That's what the Tosfot emphasized. Rashbam doesn't mention word edim. Only according to Tosfot, he said, by the way, there must be a head edim. Tosfot didn't mention that. Bechlal. Rashbam. No, lichura, according to Rashbam, there are no edim.
No, the Tosfot says that the lokeach must have had edim.
לא, the mocher. The מערער must have edim that he lived inside. According to Rashi, we don't need it. למה לא? Why you don't need it? Who are you to say that it belongs to you?
Because that's the Murakami is tying it back. Murakami could say tying it back.
No, but it's just a tiny without basis for it. Who are you?
The Murakami, always other time it says it was.
No, he said, I live there without any proof. He needs to bring edim, yeah, that he was. Yeah, that he. Any case.
The Murakami says my house, now the guy goes.
Hey, when he says my house, he doesn't bring edim.
What?
You can't say just my house rather than me.
Huh?
Why the Rashbam doesn't have to say that he has...
No, the Rasham emphasized
that
too.
He has Eden from Shkuni Gavai. The Chiddush of Tosfos said that there's no Eden on either their Choiler. So if the Rashbam is positive that he had Eden on Shkuni Gavai, or else what's the Shaila? There's no case.
No, okay. Because that we have a Shaila, you make it Poshut. But if you can answer it, it's not Poshut. Meaning, it seems that Rashbam didn't bring the word Edim. It's a special Chiddush of Tosfot, which need to understand why Rashbam didn't mention it.
How is there even a case?
That's Shaila. How can you have a case if he has no edim?
So why are you considering the guy as a marer? He's not a marer.
No, he's a marer because he has edim that is belong to his father. That's giving you a right to be a marer.
Belong to his father.
Meaning, I show ownership, huh?
Rashbam emphasizes that he had to have vedut that he was an owner.
Yeah, the only thing.
So that's it.
No, I just want to emphasize Natan Omer. The only thing Rashbam emphasized that, by the way, he had edim that previously he was an owner. If not, is
every Murakami has that.
Right? Yeah, that's what's a chiddush on it.
That's what every Murakami's edim is, that he has edim.
He has edim, right?
He never has. He doesn't have to have edim. Just going up right now.
Yafeh. No. Every Marokcan has a deem that he was an owner. If you make
that's good enough for him. And now that guy has to bring edim that you have a chazak for
no,
3
but
years.
okay, bring him the chazakah 3 years.
Right. That's what, but the Murakami never has to bring edim right now. What the Murakami has to bring edim that it's his house. He doesn't have edim that it's his house.
No, but has a deem.
He has edim that he used to belong to. If he has edim that it's his house.
No, כמובן, it belongs to him. Yeah, it belongs to him, but
okay, so he has no edim right now.
נכון.
He has edim that belongs to him, so it's his word versus a guy who has no chazak. So once it's his word, then I can say whatever I want. My time can be better than you.
Okay, so you're supporting the question or you're answering me?
Answer your kasha is.
No, you're not.
Where is he to even open his mouth to bring up all this?
No, wait, to step it.
I'm a Murakami. I can open
But
my mouth.
no, but that's okay. But so you're asking what's Tosfot's question? I'm just quoting the Tosfot's question on Rashbam. Tosfot's question is, how can you give me a raya? How can he say there was a living inside by himself? He said, "Gotta be was edim." So Tosfot said that without edim, the logic according to Tosfot, he has no one. He's a nobody to say anything. According to the Rashbam, it doesn't require edim. If the Rashbam doesn't require edim, the question is, who is he to say that he lived inside?
Doesn't require edim. Who doesn't require edim? The marer?
The marer, the Rashbam doesn't require the marer to bring edim that he lived inside.
Why does he need to bring edim if we know it?
Tosfot, that's a question of Tosfot. Tosfot says, who are you to say?
The question on Tosfot.
Well, what am I?
We know that he owned the property.
Right.
We also know
So there's edim that he owned the property.
We know he owned the property. Now we have edim saying that he's been there for 3 years. The Mufzak has been there for 3 years.
Okay.
Now the original owner is saying that during those 3 years I was living in that property. That we don't know. We know he was the original owner 10 years ago.
I'm just getting into a better.
we believe him because he spoke up. Now they make it that the Mahzik has to go bring Eidim. He said very similar to this. Because over there, the Marakat, we know that he was original, he was an owner at one point. This guy has been there for 3 years. Imam Omer, Rav Omer, אני באתי אז טענתו טענה, it's very similar.
מי לומד את זה ככה? הרשב"ם. לפי תוספות זה לא הפשט.
It's a third step.
שמה?
כן, אם באים עדים. זו התשובה, יפה מאוד. זה הפשט, לפי רשב"ם זה הסתכלות שונה. יפה מאוד. אמרת לי שתהיה טוב היום, אתה עמדת במילה. אוקיי, רבי ישראל, let's go weiter. So what's the pshat according to the רשב"ם? מה קורה פה?
Doesn't have to bring anything.
That's the point. The point is a regular Chazaka case, right? Regular
Would you mind to move on because I think it's okay to go. I don't want to lose the tzaddikim. I just want to move on. As long as, אתה כבר לוס? מה לוס?
I don't know what the question is. Everybody's jumping every.
Okay, simple. תוספות אמר.
Can you be a
לא. תוספות אמר שצריך עדים. כמה אפשר להיות? תוספות אמר שצריך עדים. נכון? צריך עדים שהוא גר בפנים, תוספות אמר. אם לא, מי אומר לך מה אני גרתי בפנים ועברתי דרכך? כי מי אמר שהוא גר בפנים? אולי הוא לא גר בפנים?
אומר טענה, אז צריך לחזק את הטענה.
מי עדים? לפי הרשב"ם לא צריך.
זה טענה ולא חזקה.
לא, לפי תוספות חייב שיהיה לו עדים לומר כשהוא אמר גרתי בפנים ועברתי דרכך צריך לפחות עדים שהוא גר בפנים. אז הוא יכול לטעון את זה. לפי הרשב"ם לא. כן, לפי הרשב"ם לכאורה לא. אוקיי. So Rabbi Isai. The Shlomo to a certain extent and Natan gave all of the important points how to answer the sugya. So this is basis of Chacham Shlomo and Rabbi Natan. באמת, according to Rashbam, we spoke throughout learning the Rashbam. Okay, Rashbam learns that all this sugya goes according to who? Rabbi Shmuel.
Yep.
לפי Rabbi Shmuel, what's defined chazaka? Achila, you gotta eat. We said, Matan just mentioned it, just say it. We said before in the previous daf, according to Rabbi Shmuel, if somebody says, Edim garuba, right, Edim, somebody said it, he lived there, Edim testified that he lived there day and night. Omar Marzutre, Beitain ואמר, לי תותרי סעדה דדרי ביום ובלילה תנתה טענה. The way the Rashbam explained the Gemara is, if the Me'arer is saying, I wanted him that he lived there also at night, he has a good ta'ana. Why? The whole idea, according to Rabbi Shmuel, how do you create chazakah from achila? מה זה achila? Achila is a full way of eating of the fruits of the karka. That's what's giving you the right. Because Rabbi Shmuel, what's creating the chazakah? The 3 achilot, mishor hamuad, nachon? So you need the 3 occurrences in order to create 3 occurrences gives you the right for your chazakah. Come, now the Gemara says by us, he claimed, the mocher says, this is my house, my father's, I have a dim that this house was belonged to me. The muchzak says the muchzak, no, I bought it from you, and I have a dim that I ate it for 3 years. So since I have achila, that's the pre-concept. Since I have achila, I said I ate it. If I have achila, I have 3 years of chazakah. Says Rav Nachman, you're right, you have 3 years of chazakah, but the reason achila that you are missing, it's not an issue when I was going through you. It's not an action of protesting against you. The fact, that's a question of the Ramban. The fact that I'm going through you, the Ramban understood that according to the Rashbam, going through me, why is that considered as you are making a mecha? Okay, going through me, that means you gave me a right to go through. What's Ramban question on the Rashbam? Huh? No, so yeah. So the question of the Ramban was, it's missing an act. No? If the fact that it's going through you, you're missing any ownership, no. The way the Rashbam learns, it's about the achilot. So read the Rashbam, the words of the Rashbam. Says the Rashbam, תימור המתחיל אנא. אנא בשכווני גוואי. הוואי בחדרים הפנימיים הייתה עיקר דירתי. I lived inside. 2. והייתי עובר דרך עליך. I was going through you. And this is the key words. ומשתמש עמך בבית החיצון שדרת בו ברשותי. Meaning, the טענה of the מוכר, according to the רשב"ם, I was using with you together בית החיצון. That means your אכילה is not a full אכילה.
That's what Rav Nachman's Tana is back.
That's the Ramban learned. Since he's telling him that you're missing an אכילה, Rashbam learned. So says Rav Nachman to the לוקח, מה זה? לך ברור מה? אכילתך. Bring a proof שאכלת כמו שצריך. Bring me a right that you ate it properly.
Alone.
Alone. Tosfos ask. Bring me a witnesses. Tosfos require עדים, נכון? That he live there inside. לא, לפי רשב"ם זה לא שאלה בכלל. I don't need to bring any witnesses. I can question your אכילה. The most important fact over here, the obvious question that everybody needs, we ask ourselves, what the heck is he to say that the עדים are wrong? נכון? In a way, the mocher says the עדים are wrong. No, the עדים are not wrong. He says, you are honest people. עלייה שלישי. שלמה, תן להם. You are honest people. He's not questioning the עדים. The עדים are saying the truth. But there is a portion that's missing. So he's not going בכלל against the עדים. That's a חידוש over here. No, רשב"ם. He's not going against the עדים. He just said the עדים are correct, but you need an additional אכילה that you missed. And this אכילה, I was eating it. Same thing as he says, I didn't see you at night. You're missing that אכילה. I didn't see you at night. If I didn't see you at night, give me a ראיה. Therefore, Rav Nachman says, לך ברור אכילתך. says רובה. לא. רובה אומר, דינא אחי, המוציא מחברו עליו הראיה. רובה learns, who testify for neighbors? Who testified the day or night, according to Rava? No, Chivevi, no, I'm sorry, that's Abaye. Rava says, renters. Sochrim testify day or night, which means, Rava understand, when you have a question on the item, whether it was fully usable or not, you're coming with a premise, with a default understanding that it was used fully.
Can you say that one more time?
Rava holds that what's the pshat the renter testifying? Do they testify mamish day and night? No! Since they testify they were there, that's enough to consider it you had full achilah. Therefore says Rava, be'emet, when the edim are testifying, they're testifying on a full achilah. You hear, who are you questioning over here, says Rava? You are questioning the edim. You have no right to question the edim. After the edim testifies, says Rava, were you trying to question the edim? You can't. The edim already established that he ate it. If so, המוציא מחברו עליו הראיה. According to Rav Nachman, he's not questioning the edim. The edim are eating a full achilah. I'm like, I agree with you, but you're missing a portion. Says Ravi, you cannot separate it. When we have a premise that something happened, we include in the premise everything. We don't assume any exceptions. If you want to create a doubt and exceptions, you need to bring a proof of the exceptions. So therefore, according to Rav, it's very important to go weiter. So according to Rav Nachman, when you have a premise, it's not definite. You can question the premise, not achila, not full achila. Maybe you're missing something. So therefore, he has the right to question it.
What do you mean you're missing something? You're missing the...
Achila, according to Rav Nachman, you're missing achila. You can question the achila.
בגלל שהמערער היה שמה, because I was using the property with you, you're missing a...
Yeah, you're missing achila. So I can question your premise. Therefore, give me a right. I'm not questioning the edim. I'm questioning your premise.
The chazaka is much broader. And therefore you have to make sure every single part of
exactly. No, but I leave it more than that. Chazaka doesn't mean everything. Chazaka means you were there, but you might be missing. Bring a right that you missed it. Rava says, no! Rava says, when you have a chazaka, that you ate something, when you have a right on something, we assume that you had it right. Anybody want to question it, it needs to redeem in order to destroy it.
Oh, so Rava is basically saying it doesn't matter that you were in the front. זה לא משנה שהמערער היה שמה?
Yeah, I don't care בכלל. Like, bring me a dim. If you bring me a dim that you were there, you're going through, then I can listen to you. But the fact that you were there, I don't care.
Rabbi, so according to Rava, when you go and question this, you're questioning the edim.
Yeah.
You
According
can't
to
do-
Rava, you
can't
question
do
the
that.
edim.
That's-
למה? But למה you question? לא, אבל למה you question the edim?
Because once they give a testimony, it's a valid
Exactly.
testimony.
When you have a premise, it's everything.
But-
According to רב נחמן, אני לא רוצה שתסביר, אני רוצה הבנת את זה? זה לוקח זמן, הבנת?
אני רק רוצה just to...
אתה הבנת, לפי רב נחמן, נו.
No, I'm saying, according to Rava, he says, hold on, this scenario is not between the edim now. Don't testify the edim. המוציא מחברו עליו הראיה, זה ביניהם.
Right, because they already established the situation.
נכון, so you can now take the case between edim if they're right or wrong.
יפה,
So he
יפה.
goes and
You
he
cannot
says, no,
question
this
the
is a
edim.
personal thing, one-on-one.
יפה, לא, תשמור על המילים האלה, כי זה כבר נראה בהמשך. So now the Gemara goes weiter. ברסיסין! שומע הרב ליאור אתה? ברור? Yeah, it's okay, או מה? Well, what's missing? Rav Nachman saying the premise can be questioned. The fact that you ate...
Rav Nachman is saying that the Lokech brings two witnesses. The fact that I was there, משתמש איתך את החיצון, זה דופק לך את שלושה האכילות שלך.
Yeah, you don't throw witnesses, you're just missing a portion, additional portion that didn't eat. I can question your premise according to...
And I don't even need to bring witnesses, Mara. It doesn't even need to bring witnesses.
No, they need.
Right.
Yeah, because you need to...
Even
By the way,
the Rava
no,
says,
you need... No, according to Rav Nachman, you need to bring me a raya that you ate. It's about your achilot, right? No, but you're missing certain achila. They are right, but there is an additional area that you are missing.
You're right for threes, but you also have to prove that. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, like the same thing we saw at night. At night, I can tell you, you're right for the days, but give me a proof. I didn't see a certain nights. Give me a raya on that. That's an achila that's missing.
Second is chil's missing. The Edom are
No, they didn't bring you on the night, on the day. You know, you're missing Edim on the night. They didn't bring you.
like before you're saying this.
Exactly, there is that portion missing. Now the Gemara goes weiter. Rabbi Yitzhak says matuk. The Gemara asks now, Barsisin. What's the question from Barsisin, Rabbi Yitzhak? Let's write that. The case of Barsisin is the owner of Barsisin property says, it's mine. I'm selling you all of the properties of Barsisin. So, what's including the words, all of the properties of Barsisi?
הכל.
Sisin, כן?
סיסין.
Everything, נכון? Comes the seller, says, no. You know, באמת, Barsisin doesn't mean everything. Barsisin mean except this one. Rav Nachman says, you have no right to say that, it's going to belong to the Lokech. Rav says, no, it's okay. You have the right to say that. המוציא מחברו עליו הראיה. So why it's a question? What's the question to our case? Exactly the same thing. We're dealing with a premise. We're questioning a premise. Who needs to bring a raya? Let's take Rove first. According to Rove, in our case, when the seller, the mocher questioned the premise, do we pay attention to him?
According to
Rove. When the mocher questioned the premise, when the mocher says, no, you're missing, you weren't there during the time that I was there. No, bias. Shikune Gavaya, no. So, according to Rove, the mocher has no right to question the premise of me being here. By the case of Barsisin, mocher has the right to question the premise that he sold them everything. There is a premise of Barsisin, there is a shtar that everything was sold. Comes the mocher and he questioned the premise. So, mocher has the right to question it?
According to Rava, no.
But by Barsisin, we see that he gives the mocher the right to question the premise. Okay, it's yours. In our case, we see the mocher has no right to question the premise. Kashye de Rove, ad Rove. Clear? Almost. According to David Mitzim Barsisin, in our case, by Barsisin, in our case, by Shikune Gavoy, the mocher has no right to question the premise of me being there. And therefore, Rove says it's going to be belong to the Lokeach. By the case of Barsising, the Mocher has the right to question the premise that I sold you everything, and you're going to give it to him. That's big question on Rove. You go against your logic. Here you allow them to question the premise, and here you don't allow them. The kasha also on Rav Nachman. What's the kasha on Rav Nachman? In our case, Rav Nachman says,
he holds on the Mara.
in our case, says you can question the premise. And the case of Barsisin, you cannot question the premise. So kasha de Rove, kasha de Rav Nachman, de Rav Nachman. What's the answer of the Gemara? Says the Gemara, Bemet, what's on Rav Nachman? Is this really a question?
No. What's the question? What's the non-question on him?
What? On Rav Nachman it's a question, right?
Over here he can question. Over here, why is it not that why can't he question?
According to Rav Nachman, the kasha is why by Shikune Gavoy you can question the premise, and by Barsisin you cannot question the premise. What's the answer according to Rav Nachman? We're talking about two different cases. Here we're talking about chazaka of achila, nachon? So that's the answer of the Gemara. Le Rav Nachman, over there, he said he sold it to him. Now you want to say that he's not part of it? Give me a raya.
Sorry.
But bayas, what's the notion of the Gemara? Lo shtar, meaning you trying with the achilot to earn your chazaka. Give me a raya. Prove that achilot were done right. It's equivalent to shtar. You're trying to replace the shtar with achilot. I can demand to have full achilot. Mishenkin bar besisin is not a question of achilot bechlal. It's what? It's a question. You saying I didn't sell you. Give me a raya. You didn't sell me. So if you see be'emet, taitim Rav Nachman or chatzig? Rav Nachman. What's the answer of Rav Nachman? The kasha here by Shikune Gavoy you question the premise, and by Barsisin you don't let him question the premise. He needs to bring a raya that he's not part of the deal. That was the kasha of the Gemara. What's the answer of the Gemara? The answer of the Gemara, no. In our case, it's a case of chazaka. What's the achila come to replace the shtar? Since achila come to replace the shtar, bring me a right that you had a proper achila. But the case of Barsisin, you sold them everything. You want to say it's not part of it, you go, bring the raya. So that's simple. According to Rove, what's the answer of the Gemara? According to Rove, it's much harder now. According to Rove, it's not no difference between achilot. Meaning, if by a case of achilot Rove doesn't let you to question the premise, kol sheken, by the case of Barsisin, you cannot question the premise. That's why when the Gemara says Kashi Rove first and then Rav Nachman, because according to Rove is much harder question. According to Rav Nachman is much less. What's the answer of the Gemara? Answer of the Gemara, lo. Says the Gemara, Rove lo Kashi. What's the answer between Rove and Rove? This is unbelievable. The Gemara says your premise on Rove was wrong. Meaning, the pshat on Rove, in our case, it is not because you can question a premise. You cannot question the premise. Ela be'emet, the reason I asked why Rove says he has no taine, what's the answer? The question of Rove, right? What was kasha the Rove and Rove? Shikune Gavai we see can say אין שכלום, הבור יבש. יש? בשיקוני עבר הבא. בשיקוני גבוה he says, בשיקוני גבוה it says that Rove said you cannot question him. And by Barsisin Rove says you can question him. What's the difference? So we thought you question him, but you cannot question him. But the Gemara says no, it's all a shaye, it's all one din of a moitzi mechaver, all of a raye. So therefore, by the case of Shikune Gavoe, who is a muchzak?
As a mimi it's
nothing to do. The Gemara thought that the pshat is on Rove whether you can question the premise or not. And if so, it's a great question. And therefore the Gemara says, no, it's not kashi. By Moche, by Barsisin, you can question who is holding. Well, he is holding. He has nothing to question the premise. He's only bedin, amoitzi mechaveroi, all of oraye.
Sounds like we're not like Rav is going on more of a physical.
There's no question over it.
You have to chazor on it. That's
right.
Like you start talking to the guy to
I think Rove is physical. Rav Nachman intellectual. Very good. Very good. Very good. Perfect. So to summarize this part, pretty good. עדיין בסדר עם זה? So Rove, I'm just going.
I gave him one so far.
You gave him one?
One pill.
Okay. It's doing well for one pill. Shabbat Shalom, Shefa Bracha Tzadik.
See you next week.
Rabbi, in Olam Haba, can you also teach us?
Okay,
This is
so...
the Mama bro. You don't need
yeah, don't need that. I want. Okay, so going now, let's summarize. Says Rove Rabbi Isai. Says Rove. The Gemara says Shekuni Gavai. We said I'm just going through the Gemara in one shot. That's my dream now, to learn. Just read the Gemara. So let's just read the Gemara, Pseder. So my wife won't blame me why I don't get the pshat. Yeah, I can turn the page. This guy told his friend, "My bait by beta. What you doing in my house?" He told them, I think I'm putting one finger in the Gemara, one in Rashbam. I bought it from you and I ate shnei chazaka. I was שיקוני גבוה, it says the רשב"ם, אנא בשיקוני גבוה יבואי, בחדרים הפנים אתה עיקר דירתך, דירתי, והייתי עובר דרך עליך, I was going through you, משתמש עמך בבית החיצון שדרת בו, היה לי שימוש איתך ביחד, if so you missing an אכילה, and therefore, ולכך לא מחיתי, אמר לי, says רשב"ם למחזיק, זיל ברור אכילתך, אני רק רוצה לזרום, אני רוצה רק לזרום ואז רגע. אמר לי, זיל ברור אכילתך, הווה עדים שדרת בבית לבדך ג' שנים, bring a right that you lived by yourself ג' שנים, בלא אותו שבא עמך בדין, without this guy. Now the Rashbam emphasizes, כדין כל חזקת ג' שנים, like a regular request of ג' שנים, שצריך להביא עדים שהחזיק בחזקה גמורה. What's חזקה גמורה? All of the אכילות that he ate properly. אמר לי רוב, דינה אחי, המויצי מחברו לבוראי, says רשב"ם, המויצי מחברו, דיינו מוכר, שהרי לוקח מוחזק עליו להביא ראיה שנשתמש עמו. He needs to bring a ראיה that use it with him together. וסביר עלי לרובה. דכיוון שראו עדים לזה המוחזק, שנשתמש בו 3 שנים, since the עדים saw the מוחזק, who's using it for 3 years, אין לכו שמא גם זה היה עמו. הואיל ולא שמענו בלתי היום, I have nothing to be חושש. As soon as you have עדים, it's enough. I'm going weiter on the Gemara. ורמי דרובה דרובה, ורמי דרב נחמן דרב נחמן. דאוד אומר לחברי, the guy told his friend, כל נכסה דבר סיסין, מזבנין עלך, all of the land of Barsisin, I'm buying from you. אבלי העירה, דאבה מקרי, I'm selling to you, אבלי העירה, דאבה מקרי דבר סיסין, was the land which is called Barsisin. אמר לי, he told them, הלאו דבה ברסיסיני. That's not belong to Barsisin. So I'm questioning your premise whether it's belong to Barsisin or not. It's happened to be called Barsisin. So here we see, we question the premise. They came in front of Rav Nachman. He put it by the hands of Lokeach. And Rashbam already explained to you the future. The ukma beyadeh Lokeach, Rashbam, kedemfarish tama lekamei, te'alei didei rame legluye, the love the bay Barsisini. He needs to bring a riot that is not belong to Barsisin. Omar le Rove, said Rove to him, Dina achi, that's the din. That the Lokeach needs to bring a raya. Hamoitzi mechaveroi, all of a raya. The one who's motzi from his friend, he needs to bring the raya. Therefore, it says the Gemara, Kashye de Rove ad Rove, Kashye de Rav Nachman ad Rav Nachman. First, Kashye de Rove ad Rove. In the case of Shikuni Gavoy, Rove says you cannot question the premise of living there, and in our case, you can question the premise that it's not part of Barsisin properties. Kashye de Rav Nachman ad Rav Nachman. In our case, Shikuni Gavoy according to Rav Nachman, you can question the premise, and the case of Barsisin, you cannot question the premise. The Gemara answers, the Rove lo kashe is not a kashe. Why? Hatam mocher kai benichsei. I'm going to technical level. Over there, mocher is sitting in the land, and therefore, by Barsisin, who needs to bring the raya? Lokeach. Hacha lokeach kai benichsei. By the case of Shikuni Gavoe, who's sitting? לוקח, מוכר ניסוי בראיה. It has nothing to do whether you can question the premise or not. It's a technical thing. Whoever sits has the right, the other one needs to bring a full proof. The Rav Nachman, nami lo ikashe, why? Hatam over there, kivan de amar le de be bar sisin, since he told them that this is bar sisin, umikraya de be bar sisin, it's also called be bar sisin. So, over there, what's the premise are? The premise is ish said bar sisin, and it's called bar sisin. Therefore, aledi de rami legluye, he needs to bring a proof, he needs to destroy a premise that it's not part of the deal. It's on his responsibility to knock down the premise. Avalacha, it's not about the premise, it's something else. Lo ye ella denakit shtara, over here, it is not less than
just taking out the star,
having a star. Mi lo amrina kebudom itelem kayem shtarcha, fulfilled your star vekum benichsi, meaning until you fulfilled your star, you have no raya to be in the nechasim. Here, how do you try to get your ownership is by achilot. Until you fulfill your achilot, you have no right to be in the nechasim. If I question the achila, you're not here bichlal. Since you're not here, I can question you. That's the pshat according to the Rashba. Tosfot. According to Tosfot says, now according to the Rashba, מובן, למה לא צריך? We don't need the din בכלל that he was inside, נכון? איך תוספות לומד?
Can I ask one question? How does Rav Nachman allow you to ask on the premise in the case of Shkuni Gavai?
How does Rav Nachman
Allow you to ask on the premise.
on Shikuni Gavai? Because it's not yours yet. Your achila giving you the right, but you don't have a right yet.
So that's the safe how we ended up in the case of Sabosisi, is how we fix it up by saying...
By Sefer, it's yours already. It's written in the star. You want to say it's out of it, you need to prove. Here, it's not yours yet. You didn't finish your achila.
So in one case, Shtar Mechira, here is Chazaka instead of Star. You don't have stars,
יפה.
too bad for you.
עכשיו, תוספות. According to Tosfot, we learn
Star is
the way we learned Tosfot on the previous sugyot. Okay?
Yep.
The way we learned Tosfot on the previous sugyot, according to Tosfot, Gemara, it's not according to Rabbi Shmuel. Who is Gemara like according to Tosfos? Chachomim. Chachomim is not about achilot. It's about the star. Gimel Shani Mizdaer, Lo Mizdaer. Says Tosfos, if you want to question the star, who are you to say you were missing this portion? You are nobody. Therefore, Tosfos says, in order for you to do that, what do you need to do?
Witnesses.
You need to bring a din that you were b'chlal inside. If we have a din that you were there inside, and you claim you went through, okay, now you have a basis for your claim to question it. But if you have no din, you have no right to question anything over here. Therefore, the shaila of Tosfot, it's not b'chal sheikh according to the Rashbam, it's only according to Tosfot. Tosfot, the land like Chachamim. It's about the 3 years, lo mizdair, about 3 years you didn't mizdair on your shtar. So you said, I was mizdair? Who are you to say that? You have a raya, you lived inside. No, okay, you have a claim. Neither I live inside. You need to bring a raya that, according to Rav Nachman, that if you claim he was inside, you need to bring a raya. According to Rov, Amoitzi Mechaver, all of a raya. But I think this is, by the way, this is the opening door. This is the opening door to the Rambam. So it's important to get. It's simple what I'm saying about what we're saying about Tosfot. Tosfot pashut. Tosfot is not achila. According to Rashba milah achila, I can question you missing in achila. According to Tosfot, זה לא achila בכלל. What is that? 3 שנים מזדהר איניש בשטורי. If I have a dim, I was there for 3 years. Who are you to say no? I went going through. I have a dim. Therefore, says Tosfot, no. If the mocher has a dim as well, that he live inside, he can question. Okay, the dim. I have a dim. I was there inside. Now I claim I was going through. You can request the Edim to bring me a better Achila, which means, according to Tosfot, the only way to question the Edim is with another Edim. Since the Chazaka 3 שנים, Rebavrom, since Chazaka 3 שנים, according to Tosfot, is about Chachomim. Chazaka 3 years, Adam is there b'shtorah. Right? So if I'm there for 3 years and I have a Edim, I was there for 3 years, nobody can say anything. The only koach to say is Edim proving that I was inside. So that's putting in question mark the Edim will testify that I live there by myself. Therefore, I need to bring a better Edim, this Borot Chilatcha, to prove that Mamash, nobody went through, according to Tosfot.
How do you explain now the Rava Tosfot?
So according to Rav Nachman, since I have edim that I was inside, you need to bring a raya. According to Tosfot, according to Rav, you can't do that because you didn't bring edim that you were there. You didn't bring edim that you were going through. You brought edim that were inside. That's not enough to take it away from me.
So
you brought it in the back.
In the back. Gavoy, in the inside, yeah.
He has to bring additional edim anyways.
Yeah, according to Rav, you have to bring additional edim to prove that you're going through. According to Rav Nachman, no. You don't need. It's enough to bring edim.
Why does it even matter?
According to Rav Nachman, I don't need to bring additional edim. According to Rav Nachman, according to Rav Nachman, as soon as I bring edim that I lived inside, the lokeach needs to bring edim that I didn't go through. According to Rav, if I bring edim that I lived inside, it's not enough. I need to bring additional edim the mocher that I really went through.
What does it matter? According to Tosfot holds like 3 years. Even if I walked inside.
Tosfot hold 3 years, כן.
So גם אם אני אומר שגרתי בפנים, גם אם יש לי עדים, but I lived in the back, and you said I need to bring another set of adim that prove that I walked inside, it shouldn't matter because you're not going to ruin the person's achilot because Tosfot doesn't hold like achilot.
No, it's not achilot. Tosfot says you're questioning the edim according to Tosfot. You're not questioning the achilot. You're questioning the edim. So unless you have edim for what you said, you have no right to question the edim. That's what Tosfot forced you to say there was a dim inside. On Rava, right. בסדר רבי ישראל? רבי Yaakov, you got the last part on Tosfos? So according to Tosfot, Tosfot said you need edim. Why? Tosfot language like chachomim. It's not achilot. 3 שנים מסדריש בשטורת. So if I have a dim that I was there for 3 years, you have no right to say, no, I was inside. Who are you? Unless you have a dim to disprove my edim, then can request me to bring additional support. According to Rav Nachman, but Rav says no, nevertheless, if they're not fully contradicting the edim, you have no right. What's the only problem according to Tosfot Pshat? הבעיה בפשט בתוספות, שהגמרא לא אומרת את זה. זה התוספות. הבעיה בתוספות, the question of Tosfot is the bomb question, which destroyed the whole Gemara. Because who are you to say you were inside without witnesses? נכון? Again, Tosfot told like Chachomim, יפה? Tosfot like Chachomim. Chachomim 3 years. I have it for 3 years. Who are you to say we live inside? What is the answer? No, you had it in. זה כתוב או לא כתוב? לא כתוב. So can you say the pshat of Tosfot? The מערער had edim that he lived inside according to Tosfot.
Oh, of course. Why was that?
Yeah, but לא כתוב בגמרא שהיה לו עדים.
If you consider
So, okay,
you consider him as מערער, of course he had it.
לא, עדים that he was בעל הבית כן, but עדים that he lived inside, שכווני גוואי, we never had עדים.
What do you want the Gemara to say?
זה רק שגרתי שם, it's just a...
Just by saying, so Tosfot says, let's חדר. Tosfot אומר, as a question, if you hold like Chachomim, you said that you live there, it doesn't have any meaning. What's the koach for you is, you need to have Eidim that you live there.
So that's why it's forced to say that.
מצוין.
It's not a shayla.
מצוין. So if you learn like Tosfot, if you used to learn Gemara like Tosfot, that if you have a question, you can set up the Gemara in different case, then you have problem. So that's Tosfot. Tosfot learned the Gemara, what the Gemara should look like, not what's written in the Gemara. So therefore said, the case over here, talking about שיש עדים. אבל הרמב"ם לא לומד ככה גמורה.
I don't get what you're saying as the Tosfot.
אה?
I don't get what you're saying as the Tosfot right now.
Tosfot says a question, he answer, נכון? אבל הגמרא לא אומרת את התשובה שלו.
אז מה?
אז לפי תוספות זה לא בעיה.
למה שזה יהיה בעיה?
כי זה לא כתוב, זה לא כתוב.
Tosfot learned in general ככה.
בסדר. אז מה אם זה לא... עוד מה? לא. תוספות לא אמר שהיה עדים שלא היו. הרשב"ם didn't make up stuff. תוספות make up stuff. He said there were עדים.
Rashbam made up a bunch of things.
Huh?
Rashbam made up a bunch
No, he didn't make up anything.
of things. I walked there, I was
In the fact, he didn't change. He explained his action, but he didn't add additional facts. He doesn't say the word edim out of nowhere. Here, according to Tosfot, the word edim out of nowhere. It doesn't say in the Gemara. So therefore, Tosfot has information that we don't have in the Gemara. That's the issue of Tosfot. Therefore, says the Rambam, אי אפשר ללמוד את הגמרא, if you approach the Gemara to learn that I was inside, that's what's taking away the right of the מחזיק, זה לא עובד. Why? Because of the שאלה of Tosfot. How can you say you were inside without edim? Says the Rambam. That's why it got to be a different case. What bothers me? The Rambam. מאיפה הרמב"ם מביא את זה? Meaning, Rambam. Everybody old the Rambam?
Yeah.
Okay? No, not yet.
Why was the Rambam such a problem?
The Rambam make up a case שלא כתוב, זה לא נראה בכלל אצלנו. Says the Rambam. זה הרמב"ם בישראל הוא בא. היה מערער, הביא המערער עדים. Should we do the Rambam today or another day?
Yeah.
מצוין. הביא המערער עדים, you know that I was worried. So Rambam says, הביא המערער עדים שזו השדה שלו. So according to the Rambam, first מערער bring עדים לשדה שלו. וזה שבתוכה טוען, ממך לקחתיה ואכלתיה שני חזוקה. The one inside said, I bought it from you and I ate at the time of חזוקה. והביא עדים שאכלה 2 שנים, and he brought witnesses that he ate it for 2 years. יפה, that's הגמורה. טען המערער ואמר, איך תיתון שלקחה ממני היום? How can you claim that you took it from me today? 3 שנים. ובאותו הזמן לא הייתי במדינה. So the Rambam learns the sugya that נושא כלים brings, that when he said שכווני גבוה, I was שוכן רחוק במדינה אחרת, like the Rishonim, many of the Rishonim learned. So,
but off Tosfot, he's saying that he read Tosfot, he's like, it can be the case in the
no,
Gemara.
yeah.
So he says, I have to bring you a completely different case now.
No, but I show you how come it's not different.
Oh, it's not different.
Yeah, but it's not the simple, אליהו, איך אתה יכול בטלפון וידידי? מחילה. תפסת אותי, אבל זה מסוכן לטלפון בשעת הלימוד, פתאום יעלה לך איזו הודעה מקליינט. מגיע לך מחילה וסליחה.
לא, חס ושלום.
חשבתי בקשרים. So, ואמר, איך תיתון שלנו כאלה? מצריכים, so the Rambam says that our case, שכווני גוואי, he came with mamish out of nowhere, with like some of the Rishonim, like the Rif, the שכווני גוואי doesn't mean I was inside, because who are you to say I was inside? שכווני גוואי means I was somewhere else.
So you're Tanai.
So, like the Mukiyese, perfect. Now, מצריכים זה שבתוכה להביא ראיה, the one inside need to bring a ראיה, שזה פלוני המערער היה עמו במדינה, this guy who was מערער on it, he was with them in the city, בזמן זה שטוען שמחרה לו בו, at the time that he's claiming that he sold it to him, אפילו יום אחד, even one day, כדי שיהיה אפשר שימכור לו, should have a possibility that he sold it to him. ואם לא הביא, מסלקים אותו. If he didn't bring you, you can send them away. Very difficult Rambam. Right. Okay, I didn't say רבנו חנן. So, בוא נראה. הרמב"ם, in one hand, הרמב"ם, okay, he learned the Gemara nicely. The Rambam learns the Gemara, עוד אומר לך ומאי בואי ביי ביתה, it's mine, I have a dim that was belonged to my pet, to me before. He said, no, I bought it for him, אכלתי שני חזקה. What is responding back to him? שכווני גבוה בואי. How can you say you bought it from me? I was בכלל somewhere else. How is that a valid time?
Maybe there's a Shania.
Who? No, but the whole idea of חזוקה what? After 3 years, לא חושב על כלום. How come suddenly over here, after 3 years,
It's a question of...
I can question you? How can somebody question somebody else after 3 years?
Because your Tana is that I sold it to you.
Okay.
So now I'm questioning.
But every time it's a sold it to you.
No, if you're saying that I sold it to you,
No, that's right.
prove to me that I sold it to you. I was never even here.
I don't need to prove you. I have 3 years.
No.
3 years is to disprove
Why
you.
do we ask that question?
Then your whole Tana
No.
is messed
Why?
up.
How come after 3 years that this guy has a claim? Because when we said Shkune Gavai is that I lived in with you and I ruined your chazakah after 3 years.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. Here, then how?
Doesn't make sense. Mama Rabbi
Far
Yaakov.
away.
Makes sense.
Huh?
The whole concept of what we saw in Rashi a while ago, then you can't just say, oh, no one told me to leave, no one was here, I just flopped. It doesn't work. It has to be this pushback. So the only way to get the chazakah is the Marakama comes, and there's some sort of exchange between them.
No, but I agree. But if the
You have
Marakam...
that chazakah floating in the air.
No, but the Marakama claims something. By the way, the sale never happened. Who are you to say such a thing? If the Marakama said the sale never happened, how can he... The whole idea of chazakah... No, but the whole idea of chazakah, I don't need to keep a star. If you said, I never sold it to you, if the guy said... No, that's the whole idea of chazakah. Any case of she'ela of chazakah, this guy said, I sold it. This guy said, you sold it to me. He says, no, you didn't. I didn't sell it to you. Why? He said, I have 3 years of chazakah. Sorry.
Yeah, but the Machzik ruined himself by saying Ivara.
Huh?
How does the Rambam?
Machzik ruined himself by saying Ivara.
Halacha
By
is
saying Ivara, you showed that it was used previous years.
No, actually,
And it shows that I was here for 3 years.
No.
What's his time?
Saying Ivara,
You were a previous
right?
You have to elaborate.
לא, לא נכון, לא נכון, לא נכון, שלמה, כל מקרה של חזקה, אתה אומר לא קנית ממני, הוא לא נאמן. אם אתה אומר לא קנית את זה ממני, אני אומר קנית את זה ממך, אתה אומר לא מכרת לי, מה הדין? 3 שנים חזקה, זה שלי. לא, שהוא נאמן, הוא אומר, צריך תביא הוכחה שהוא היה פה.
ברור שזה יהיה ככה. Because if the guy, this is like איך קוראים לזה? אוכלים ברעיון.
לא נכון, לא נכון, לא נכון.
זה במקום אחר, איך הוא יכול לעשות מלכה אם הוא לא יוכל לדעת מזה?
לא, הוא לא אומר, לא, הוא אומר רמה, או לא, לא, לא. לא, הוא לא אומר אני הייתי בעיר אחרת.
זה מה שהרמב"ם אומר.
הוא לא אומר חירום, אוקיי. שלמה says a good point. הוא לא אומר את זה, הוא לא אומר את זה. לא, הרמב"ם לא אומר את זה. הנושא כלים אומר את זה, אבל הרמב"ם לא אומר. So Rabbi say, the נושא כלים of the Rambam, the Magid Mishneh, Lechem Mishneh, everybody were bothered.
What is נושא כלים? I don't know.
It's an expression all of the מפרשים around this specific Rambam.
לא הייתי במדינה.
לא הייתי, לא אומר חירום. לא אומר חירום, הוא אומר לא הייתי.
לא חירום.
Only by חירום you have a right to say that I couldn't know. We have a din, חברה יתלה וחברה יתלה. The fact that you weren't there, okay, who cares?
I live in China, you live in the US. חברה יתלה?
בטח.
מה פתאום?
זה הדין.
The Gemara always cancel that out. If you
never. אני לא אבקר איתך את זה עכשיו.
Do we have that case though?
מה?
He's saying he was China.
הכל אותו דבר, I don't remember.
Oh, remember
No, yeah, no, man, read it, yeah, חברה יתלה.
Why would we not forget?
No. He said, I mean, then it shouldn't be believed. So, really, באמת, the נושא כלים, לסוד, זה נושא כלים. It's an expression, those who carry the stuff for the person, it's called נושא כלים. Yonatan had the נושא כלים. So, according to the Rambam, so all of the Rishonim really bothered with the Rambam. Because how can the Rambam said, I can tell you, סליחה, אני הייתי במדינה אחרת. Who are you to say that? Therefore, כמעט כל הנושא כלים saying that the Rambam is talking מצב חירום. What's מצב חירום? The Gemara says, היה ביהודה והחזיק בגליל ולהחזיק ביהודה, זה לא חזקה. Why? Because if it was in יהודה, in one area, אני החזיק בגליל. At the time, the Gemara said, the Gemara explained later on, there was שעת חירום, the Gemara called it שעת חירום. אתה מדבר. הגמרא אומרת that it was one in יהודה, one in גליל, 2 different cities, and one who did חזקה in one place, and the previous owner was in גליל. If I'm מחזיק in יהודה, the place over the גליל, it's not a חזקה, even if I held it for 3 years. למה? Because the Gemara says, שעת חירום שנו. Talking about the time, שעת חירום. Time of emergency, there was no communication.
There was no travel.
Yeah, no travel between.
There was a travel ban.
Yeah, no travel ban. Between
No, there was a travel ban.
Okay, it was travel ban between Yehuda to Galil. So therefore, if someone is holding a property in Yehuda, and since there is שעת חירום, if the owner is in the Galil, he has no raya. So all of the Nasakurim says that the Rambam talks about a case of. So the Rambam talks about a case where it's שעת חירום. Therefore, we can say that. מה הבעיה? Doesn't say that. לא אומר את זה. So look at the Rambam. Look, כן, רambam לא אומר את זה. למה הוא לא אומר את זה? So if so, the shaila is, how can he say בכלל? Who is he to say something?
Rabbi, is he holding?
How can the Rambam says that he said, no, לא הייתי במדינה. יפה? I mean, who is he to say לא הייתי במדינה? We're not talking about שעת חירום. Right, but yeah, the Rambam. But the shaila is, how come? Who is it to say? If I'm telling you I bought it for you, said I didn't buy it. He's Ne'eman. I have 3 years of chazaka. How can you be Ne'eman?
Wait, does the Rambam?
Yeah?
What's that?
Okay, so let me say עכשיו את הפשט הרמב"ם. יש לנו. רבי ישי, what's the most difficult part of this Rambam is, הרמב"ם תקע את זה בלי קשר פה בפרק הזה. The Rambam insert this halacha in perek which has nothing to do with the flow of the Gemara.
Why, Memalev?
לא, this halacha, halacha yud,
Okay.
yeah, it's not the flow of a Gemara. The Gemara brings the halachot, the previous halachot, we had halachot of, Perek Yud Bet, he jumped to, this halacha from Perek Yud Bet, the flow was before, you're going to Perek Tet Vav. What's the ט"ו בכלל? Why don't you write it properly? You read הלכות before and after, it's not בכלל part of הגמורה. Ay. Look on the Rambam. You have the Rambam? הלכה ט'. הביא המערער עדים שזו השדה שלו. Classic case. The מערער bring עדים that this שדה belong to him. הלכה ט', right? הלכה before. וזה שבתוכה טוען, the one inside claims, ממך לקחתיה, I bought it from you. והרי שטרי, this is a שטר. מה קרה? והוציא שטר מקוים, and he brings him a שטר. So what's the case? המערער אומר, this is mine, של אבותיי יש לי עדים. בא שלמה אומר, no, I bought it from you and here is a שטר. טען המערער שהוא מזויף. If the מערער אומר, זה פייק!
מה קשור?
שנייה! טען המערער אומר, זה פייק שטר! פייק ניוז! לא קרה! never happened! ואמר, כן הוא, yes, אבל היה לי שטר כשר ועבדתי. I had a good star and I lost it.
מה זה הדבר הזה?
ולקחתי זה, and I took this one בידי, כדי לאיים עליו שיודע שמכר לי באמת. So he said, באמת, I had star between them. But this star, what's the problem was? This star באמת, I lost the star. So I made up another one to force him, so he can admit it. Which means,
to force the
mocher to admit that he sold it. But I had a good star. This one happened to be a problem with it. יפה? הואיל ואילו רצה היה עומד בשטרו, שהרי מקוים הוא. Since if you want, he was able to keep the star, that is considered star מקוים, a good star. הרי זה נאמן, is trustworthy, ואין מוציאים את השדה מתחת ידו, you don't take the field under him, וישווה את. What's the previous case to our case? Unbelievable. The previous case of the Rambam, you have a legit star. All of the transaction has full proof that everything is okay.
In our case, Sacha?
No, הלכה ט'. No, before, one before. הלכה ט', but you just read.
I'm saying, where does that go in the...
שנייה. What we just read, it's a case of מזויף מתוכו. מה הפשט? I have a good star. Everything is okay with my star. But I have a problem with it. What's the problem? באמת, something is wrong in the star. So in the previous case, we have, in הלכה ט', we have a case where I'm questioning the identity of the star. מערער, right, has no right to question years of chazakah. If I have a deal for 3 years of chazakah, no one has the right to question it. But what I have the right to question, meaning the yesod of 3 shanim of chazakah, no one can question. That's a reality. Edim testified I was there for 3 years. But מערער has an ability to question the premise of the chazakah. What's the premise of the chazakah? שטר. Says the מערער, מזויף. מה צריך לעשות? Prove that it's not מזויף. Go in the Rambam Alochiyud, which is our case. And that's unbelievable. You can read the Gemara much different level. We have in our case a case where the מערער said it's mine. Similar to previous halacha. The מחזיק says no, I bought it from you, and I have 3 years of chazakah. Says the מערער, השטר שלך מזויף. Meaning we have no shtar over here, נכון? That's why I need years of chazakah. But what's the premise of the chazakah? Why chazakah gonna work? Because you said, I sold it to you, נכון? And you say ערעור on your premise. I'm not מערער on the עדים. The question was, how can you be מערער on the עדים? All of the נושאי כלים says, we're talking about שעת חירום. That's why you can say, I didn't see the chazakah. The Rambam is not talking about the chazakah בכלל. The Rambam is talking about the transaction. You said there was a transaction of a sale. I said this is מזויף, זה fake, לא הייתי שם בכלל. What do you need to do in order to resolve the fake news? What's the word of the Rambam? Now you can read the Rambam. Says the Rambam, therefore, מצריכים זה שבתוכה להביא ראיה, שזה פלוני המערער היה עמו במדינה, he just was the same in the city, בזמן זה שטוען שמכרה לו, אפילו יום אחד, even one day, כדי שיהיה אפשר. In order to disprove the מזויף, What do you need to say? As long as you put that it was one day within that time, he has no right to claim anymore. Mezuyaf. So when you read out the Gemara, listen to the Gemara, it's not very well. The Gemara says, Aud Omar le lechavre mai boit bai beita. מה אתה תעשה בבית שלי? אומר לי, מינח זבינתה, right? ואכלתיה שני חזקה. So, Anna בשכווני גוואי אביי, Rambam says, it's not a respond on the 3 years of חזקה בכלל. Because nobody can question the edim no matter what. Like Tosfos ask, you cannot question the edim. What can you question? Shikune Gavai Avai. I was out of here during the time not of the Chazakah, during the time of the sale. Since you question the sale, he has a right. אם אני אומר לו, if I said לא מכרתי לך אף פעם, I'm not trustworthy. Because what do you have against לא מכרתי? 3 years of חזקה. But אם הוא אומר לו הייתי פה, הוא אומר זה מזויף. מזויף, he can claim.
There's one guy.
Huh?
One guy.
Yeah, but mezuyaf, that's the previous halacha. Yeah, no, you don't even say to claim that he's mezuyaf, you have a right.
So it's basically a chesed batam is totally in if you know how to answer back to the guy.
Of course, every business like that, any basing case. But again,
Well, I'm saying one guy.
but you said it's never. I weren't there. That's mezuyaf. Bring me that you were there. Bring me a raya. It's easier to be proved that. And therefore, according to the Rambam and Baya, it's not Shat Cherum. Everything goes smooth. Now, have the Rambam read the Gemara weiter. We'll do tomorrow, Bli Neder. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Once a Rosh Hashiva came